My wife told me she doesn't owe me intimacy, so I showed her what life looks like without my love, effort, or commitment. Hey Reddit. When my wife, Emily, and I got married, I believed we had a true partnership, one built on mutual love, respect, and effort. We had been together for 8 years, married for 4, and like most couples, we had our ups and downs. But lately, things had shifted. It started small, little changes in the way she acted, how she spoke to me, how she looked at me. The affection that once defined our relationship had slowly eroded, and intimacy had become non-existent. At first, I thought it was just a rough patch, but when I tried to talk to her about it, she brushed it off, saying she was stressed from work or just not in the mood. I was patient, I always had been. I helped out more around the house, planned date nights, and tried to be the husband I thought she needed. But nothing changed. One night, after another rejected attempt at intimacy, I finally confronted her. I told her how I felt, how I missed the way things used to be, how I felt like I was putting in all the effort while she was just coasting. That's when she said it, words that sent a chill down my spine. I don't owe you intimacy. It wasn't just what she said, but how she said it, cold, detached, like I was some entitled stranger demanding something from her. It wasn't about her not wanting intimacy, it was about the principle, the idea that I had no right to expect anything from her. It hit me then, I was pouring love, energy, and commitment into someone who felt no obligation to reciprocate. And if she didn't owe me intimacy, then maybe I didn't owe her the things I've been giving so freely. So, I stopped. I didn't make a grand declaration, didn't tell her my plan. I simply stopped being the husband who went out of his way to make her life easier. No more sweet good morning texts, no more cooking her favorite meals, no more going out of my way to help her with errands or surprise her with little gestures of affection. I stopped checking in on her day, stopped offering back rubs when she complained about being tired, stopped initiating any form of physical touch. When she asked me to grab something for her while I was out, I simply said, "Oh, I forgot," with the same nonchalance she gave me when I told her how I felt. I stopped planning date nights, stopped putting in effort for anniversaries and special occasions. And for the first time in our marriage, I focused on myself. At first, she didn't notice, or at least, she didn't acknowledge it. But as the days turned into weeks, I saw the confusion in her eyes. She'd reach for a cup of coffee in the morning, expecting the one I always made for her, only to find nothing. She'd come home from work, looking around, realizing I hadn't made dinner. When she asked what was for dinner, I simply said, "I don't know, I just grabbed something for myself on the way home." Then, one night, she finally snapped. "Why are you acting like this?" she demanded. I looked at her, genuinely curious. "Like what?" "Like you don't care." I shrugged. "I guess I just realized that if you don't owe me intimacy, then maybe I don't owe you love, effort, or commitment. Seems fair, right?" She stared at me, mouth slightly open, as if she couldn't believe what she was hearing. And that's when it hit her. She had expected me to keep giving, to keep trying, to keep loving her unconditionally, even as she withdrew everything from me. For the first time in months, I saw something in her eyes that had been missing: fear. Update. After our argument, Emily tried to pretend everything was fine, but I could tell she was unsettled. She started testing the waters, subtly trying to get me to engage again, sitting closer to me on the couch, asking how my day was, bringing home my favorite snacks. But I didn't fall for it. I wasn't being cruel, just indifferent. I wasn't going to pour love into someone who only realized its value once it was gone. Then came the real wake-up call. One weekend, I decided to go out with some friends. Normally, I would let her know where I was going, when I'd be back, but this time, I simply grabbed my keys and left. I ignored the few texts she sent, and when I got home late that night, I found her sitting on the couch, waiting. "Where were you?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "Out," I said, kicking off my shoes. "Out where?" "With friends." "Does it matter?" She frowned. "You could have at least let me know." I raised an eyebrow. "Why?" "I don't owe you that." She had no response. Another update. Over the next few weeks, the tension in our home became unbearable. Emily went through every stage: denial, anger, bargaining. She started initiating intimacy, touching my arm when she walked past, leaning in for kisses. I let her, but I didn't reciprocate. It was clear she was desperate to regain what she had lost, but I wasn't going to just flip a switch because she suddenly decided I was worth the effort. One night, she finally broke. She came into our bedroom, tears in her eyes. "I messed up," she whispered. "I took you for granted. I didn't realize how much you did for me, how much you loved me, and I just pushed you away." I sat there, watching her. "And why do you realize that now?" She swallowed hard. Because I feel what you felt. I feel invisible. Unimportant. And I hate it. Final update. After that night, Emily worked hard to repair what she had broken. She apologized, not just with words, but with actions. She made an effort, real effort, to rebuild what she had neglected. And as much as I wanted to hold on to my resentment, I knew that if I truly wanted our marriage to work, I had to let her in. It wasn't immediate, but slowly, I began to trust her again. We had long conversations about what went wrong, about how both of us needed to feel valued, appreciated, and loved. She admitted that she had started to see our marriage as something stable, something that would always be there regardless of her effort. She had let herself believe that she could withdraw without consequence. We rebuilt our intimacy, not just physically, but emotionally. It took time, patience, and genuine effort from both of us. But for the first time in years, our marriage felt alive again. Emily learned that love isn't just given freely without expectation, it's nurtured, reciprocated, and valued. And I learned that sometimes, the only way to make someone appreciate you is to show them what life looks like without you.